What is up, YouTube? It's B the Installer. I'm here today because I'm trying to settle the issue of what is the best 4K TV in 2020. Most people on YouTube know that you can go crazy pretty much in any electronic category trying to find out what the best product is. TVs are no different. And I, of all people, with 15 years of electronics experience, installation, and consulting, thought that picking a TV would be easy. I'd have no problem. But I was wrong. Everybody has an opinion, and when it comes down to you actually making that decision yourself, you start to get nervous, you start to get the FOMO, and all your confidence is shaken. Well, I'm here today to help end that discussion. I'm going to compare what I think are the three best TVs in 2020, the Samsung Q90t or Q95t, the LG CX, and the Sony A8H. I'll give you a quick overview on each of the products, and then at the end I'm going to do something that rarely happens on YouTube. I'm actually going to give you the answer. I am going to tell you which is the best TV, and why I bought it myself with my own money, no influence, no sponsors, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm confident that I made the right decision. So welcome back to the subs, as the kids call it these days. If you haven't subscribed, you might as well do it now and hit the notification bell so you get all the uploads, including my comparison on the different Sonos soundbars. As you can see right here, I have the Sonos Arc, just me and my Sonos Arc chilling. And if and when you find this video useful, go ahead and smash the like button. It helps a lot, and I'm truly appreciative for everyone to come and check this stuff out. And right now, before I give you all the answers, go ahead in the comments and tell me which you think is the best TV of these three. Hey, and if it's not one of these three, let me know what you think is the best 4K TV of 2020. If you like, subscribe, notify, leave a comment, all the above. I'll enter you in a drawing and give away a free Amazon Alexa Dot Generation 3. All right, so getting into it, we are gonna start with the Samsung Q90t or Q95t if you're not in America. I did a practical review on the Samsung Q90t right here, and I have to say it's a very beautiful TV. It's got great picture quality, got great HDR, very solid TV. And by solid, I mean it's very well built. It's definitely the best built TV of the three. I feel like this TV wouldn't break if it was to have an unfortunate collision with the wall. I wouldn't go slamming your TV into the wall just to test it, but very strong TV. The stand wobbles a bit. Both of the OLEDs sit pretty low to the ground. They're kind of scraping on their rims, but the Samsung is up a little higher, and it gives you the ability to put a soundbar underneath it, which is cool if you're gonna put on a stand, but I mostly wall mount TV, so I don't really care about any of that, I guess. As far as the relevant specs, this Samsung Q90t is solid. It has amazing dynamic range. It has HDMI 2.1 compatibility and FreeSync. It has an eARC port for, you know, getting Dolby Atmos out of the TV's streaming apps and things like that. The eARC is the enhanced audio return channel, which sends sound backwards from your TV to a soundbar or receiver. As I have said in my review, the Samsung connectivity and the OS and the smart TV are fantastic. It has the best smart TV in the world. There's no question about it. You can get pretty much any app you want. The Bluetooth remote is amazing as well. So you have just your basic up, down, left, right, and enter, and back button, and home button, and there's not much else you need these days. It's similar to a lot of the devices like the Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Stick remotes that are just very basic and simplistic, but yet they control everything and they're just fantastic. Great picture quality, great connectivity, fantastic smart TV, great remote. On the flip side, one glaring negative is the glare. The anti-reflective coating is to knock down some of the glare, and it's also supposed to double in helping the contrast in lieu of not being able to turn each pixel on and off like an OLED. And those things are positives, but I really had a hard time finding a way not to have ridiculous glare on this TV when making a video. And to many, it's a deal breaker. People online have been complaining about this, and so I'm not really sure what they're trying to do with this anti-reflective coating. It seems to be getting worse, not better. And the second issue is the screen uniformity or dirty screen effect. I noticed when doing the video that I could see a little bit of darkening in the corners, and the screen, when it was real bright, wasn't perfectly even. You can kind of notice it. But again, that with the anti-reflective coating, it may bother some people, it may not bother others. And lastly, on the downsides, well, the HDR content looked fantastic. The normal content did not look that good. Many times when I'm doing Samsung TVs, I have to hurry up and get the TV off of that Samsung TV Plus that they offer because it looks horrible. So people get these brand new TVs and they're like, is that how it's gonna look? So it really depends on the content you're watching, but the Samsung Plus TV and other standard definition does not look very good on this TV. So on that note, I give you the Samsung Q90t. The second is the LG CX, which is also a very nice TV. It has a fantastic picture quality. As with its predecessor, the C9, it has a very thin build to it. It's a pretty cool looking TV. A little scary if you're gonna be picking it up and moving it around or turning the TV left and right. But like with women's shoes, it's all about the look. Damn the comfort and cost. But seriously, the TV does not need to be that thin at the top. I kind of wish it would be more like the Sony OLED, where it's a little thicker. There's not much downside to making the TV just a little thicker at the top. So the specs on this TV are probably the best. I mean, it does have 4 HDMI 2.1. It does have eARC and your typical other ports. It does support FreeSync and G-Sync for gaming. And it does look pretty amazing in game mode. It auto detects when you can plug in like an Xbox or a PlayStation. It automatically knows that you're playing a game and fires it right into game mode. So one of the things with OLEDs that you probably know is that each pixel can turn on and off individually, so you can have a perfectly black pixel next to a perfectly lit pixel, and it does create a superb image quality. The contrast is amazing, the picture quality is amazing. People are concerned that the OLED TVs can't get bright enough, but I have to say, I have not noticed that when looking at any of these 3 TVs. I feel they're all sufficiently bright. And it's something that you have to see in person and maybe even pixel peep a little bit to see how awesome the picture quality looks on an OLED when you're looking at it straight on or when you're looking at it from extreme angles. It's just a very amazing picture. So I'm gonna pause on the benefits because now I'm gonna talk about the LG remote. Some like this LG Magic Remote, but not I, said the installer. It's awful. Whenever I set up an LG TV and I'm pressing the buttons and I'm trying to hit the enter button, it always misfires and it ends up on a different line. So not so magic, LG. And what's the point with all these buttons? I mean, A, who has cable anymore? And B, if you have cable, are you really gonna use the LG remote? And C, who has cable anymore? Another perceived downside is the screen reflectivity. And it is a reflective screen. It looks like a mirror when it's off, but the brightness does push through that sufficiently. So lastly, we have OLED burn-in and the concerns about that. And I'm gonna do this once for the LG here and the Sony, but we all know that the pixels of an OLED are made of like radioactive material, right? So of course they're gonna explode. No, I'm just kidding. But it's made of organic material and it does have a shelf life, and if it's overused or if it's on the same image, it can retain that image and it can be a problem. I'm not specifically worried about that, but if you are, you can get a warranty to cover that through Best Buy. Some of the other places don't offer a warranty on that. And I just have to say, if people are covering this in a warranty, maybe it's not an issue and they're just making money off you. I don't know. But it's a valid concern for some people, and even just a pixel going out here or there is also a concern. So I'll take that into consideration. So 2 down, 1 to go. So we have the Sony OLED, and again, it has an amazing picture. HDR content looks amazing. And maybe it's a good time just to say that HDR content looks amazing. So then when it comes down to picking a TV, you kind of have to go with some other things. And I didn't spend as much time with this A8H, but I also have seen the A9G from last year, so I'm pretty familiar with the Sony OLED TVs. As I stated before, it's got a great build quality for an OLED TV. It has a thicker screen, and I just think that there's no reason not to make the screen a little bit thicker with the potential for it cracking or having issues. The overall look of the TV is just really nice as well. And another cool thing about the Sony OLED, which I completely failed to mention in the previous video, is that the sound actually comes from vibrations in the screen. People have said when you're off center, the sound may not be perfect, but again, most of the time I'm talking about TVs on the wall, sound bars. I'm not really that interested in TV speakers and judging a TV based on that. Some people may, so that's okay. But having a Sonos Arc or any other sound bar will obviously make that a non-issue. And as far as the remote goes, it's somewhere between the Samsung and LG. It's a more traditional remote, but it doesn't have a little magic wand. But as far as the connectivity, I'm not a huge fan of the Android TV. I do run into issues trying to find specific apps that I like to use. Much more of a downside is the lack of an HDMI 2.1. So no fun for gamers, no fun for the future. But will anyone really notice besides gamers? Another downside, since there aren't that many downsides for this TV, is the price. It is the most expensive of the 3 TVs, and it's not even technically a Master Series Sony. So many complain it's just kind of more of the same for Sony, but that can also be said for the LG CX because it's very similar to last year's C9. So the Sony has a solid, amazing picture, doesn't have the gaming support, But if you're not a gamer, maybe that's okay. Okay, so let's get to the decision. But before that, please definitely pound the like button. So if you're a fan of one of these three brands, I would feel confident telling you that for the most part, you're probably gonna like all three of these TVs. If you're a gamer, I think the LG and the Samsung have a definite advantage. If you're not a gamer, I think the Sony and the LG have overall best picture quality. So while all three TVs are amazing, I think that the LG CX is the best 4K TV of 2020. And that's why it's sitting behind me. The picture quality is at least as good as the other two TVs. I think it edges out the Samsung and it's almost identical to the Sony. But where it has an advantage over the Sony is that it's great for gaming. And I have two children and they love to play games. But if you're not a gamer and you want a little better build quality, maybe the Sony's for you. As far as the Samsung, again, I love the remote and I love all those things about it, but that glare on the TV is a deal breaker for me. The whole thing with Samsung TVs is that they're supposed to have such great anti-reflective screens and the brightness is supposed to blast through any additional light that you can have them in any setting. But I've seen all these TVs and I give no advantage to Samsung in that respect. And at the worst case scenario, you can just shut your blinds or turn the TV mount because you are gonna have to do that with any of these TVs. And if you add in that rainbow effect, it's a deal breaker. There are a lot of complaints online about this and it seems to be getting worse, not better. And if the goal for Samsung people is just to black out the room, then that's the complaint about having an OLED is that you need to black out your room to make that TV bright enough. So in either instance, I'm completely fine with the brightness level of the TV. And on top of that, I couldn't pass up LG's amazing picture quality. As far as the burn-in, I'm not that concerned. Every time I've left the room and left the TV on and come back, it's on that blacked out screensaver with the little fireworks going off. If you are concerned about it, go ahead and grab that warranty for the peace of mind. And if I had to pick a second choice, I'd have to go with the Sony. I can't deal with that rainbow effect across the screen. It's bad enough when you have a TV and you're trying to get rid of one problem light, but if that one problem light remains and then it arcs across your whole screen, I couldn't deal with it. Or maybe I would just go with the cheaper LED that doesn't have that kind of anti-reflective coating if I was worried about burn-in. All right, so let me hear it. Did I make a good decision? Are you guys happy? Does this help? The good, the bad, and the ugly, just comment below. Make sure to pound the like button. It's very helpful and I appreciate the support. And I invite anyone that's not a subscriber to do so now, but make sure that you check the bell to all so that you get all the new uploads and you know when I put up a new video. And it's a good time to remind you, with my help, you can be the installer.